Hi everybody and welcome to part 2 of my PS2 collection, my updated PS2 collection. Apologies for the end of the last part, my phone ran out of battery, hence why I had to abruptly end that video. But on to part 2, next game we have is Gregory Horror Show. Now this is actually based on a Japanese cartoon show. And it's developed and published by Capcom, and it's basically, if Pokemon was like what you would call my first RPG, then this would be like my first survival horror. You basically play as a boy or a girl, and you basically end up in this hotel. You're lost and you have nowhere else to go, and what you don't realise is you end up in this house full of demonic creatures who all of which are like incredibly disturbing, and you have to find a way to get their souls in order to find a way out of the hotel. And it sounds insane, that's because it is, but it is a damn good game, and I highly recommend it if you can find it. Next up we have a little game called Grand Theft Auto 3. This was probably one of the reasons why I bought my PS2 in the first place. I will say that it hasn't aged well from when it first came out. I mean, it is a little bit, imperfect in terms of like the actual aiming system and the like stuff like throwing grenades, and certain AI companions can really be like awkward in certain missions. And there's one guy called I think it was 8 Ball, who has to sort of go on this boat for one mission, and you have to snipe loads of guys in order to protect him, and it's just completely broken. But the main draw of like this series is really the open world and the ability to do whatever you want to do. Be it actually do the story itself, or just go around and just cause chaos, really, and that's the beauty of this series. Like, you can play as much or as little of the story as you want to, and still have an absolute blast playing it. So, next up we have Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare. I believe this was the 3rd or 4th entry in the Alone in the Dark series. I've not actually had a chance to play this one myself. It's very similar to Resident Evil, although the actual Alone in the Dark series actually preceded Resident Evil in terms of like survival horrors being released first. I've not actually played this one, but I've seen one Let's Player do some footage of this. I believe his name was 666 something or other. That's not his exact YouTube name, but I watched a couple of videos, and it seems like really really entertaining in like a sort of so bad it's good way. The voice acting is kind of hilarious as well, especially the main character, Edward Carnby. But yeah, I look forward to playing it. Next up we have Soul Reaver 2. It's part of the Legacy of Kain series. I did play the first one for a little bit on the PS1. But I didn't go very far in it because puzzles are not really my strong suit. But I look forward to playing this one because it definitely looks a lot better in terms of graphics and certain things you can do in it. And yeah, I've heard nothing but good things of this from friends. Next up we have the Godfather the game. This is a game I beat a few months ago, and I really enjoyed it. I really like the how the sort of storyline for the movie like gets blended into this game. You sort of play as like a nobody henchman who sort of gets caught in like the Corleone family business, and your job is basically to basically hustle like certain businesses in order to go up in the ranks. You're up against 4 other families, and you basically have to do certain missions and also do certain dirty deeds in order to make it high up in the sort of mafia ranks. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. After the story was over, I kind of lost interest in this, but while it lasts, it is a lot of fun. And the gunplay is surprisingly good. I thought it was a lot better than a lot of GTA's on the PS2, if I'm being honest. Next up we have Parappa the Rapper 2. This is the sequel to the big hit on the PS1, Parappa the Rapper. Although I do feel that the songs on this one aren't as good as, aren't as iconic as in the original. I do enjoy this a lot more because it's a lot easier than the first one. The first one got really hard after like stage 3, and but this one you can sort of leisurely sort of sit down and play for like an hour or so, and you're pretty much done really. And but it's a nice experience to have while it lasts. You know, you can be at one sitting and have a lot of fun with it. So. Next up we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, my personal favourite in the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series. I just feel that the first one was a good entry into the series. The second one I played so much on the PS1, but this one took it to a completely different level in terms of physics and the sort of not open world, but the sort of things you could do between missions, and the soundtrack. Oh god, the soundtrack was good, and yeah, I would say, but it's a close call for me between this and Tony Hawk's Underground. But for me, I preferred this one just a little bit more because it came first. And it was also one of the first games I got on the PS2, so it means a lot to me. Next up we have Time Splitters Future Perfect. This is the 3rd game in the Time Splitters series. I actually enjoyed this one a lot more than Time Splitters 2 in terms of the story. You play as Cortez, who travels through various periods in time in order to stop this evil scientist, and there's even a mission where you go back to this like evil scientist's like younger self, and they end up meeting with each other, and it's just like a really hilarious cutscene. So but yeah, and the dialogue and the comedy is just I've not seen it done better, with the exception of like most point and click adventure games from back in the day. And yeah, it's a really entertaining story, and the multiplayer as usual is fantastic. Although if like myself you don't have any friends, you can also do like matches against bots, which are not quite as good as the real thing, but it's still fun. Next up we have Mafia. Flawed, but I feel that it holds up just enough for me to say that I like it personally. The loading times are an absolute killer. I'm not gonna lie. And you're just sort of going between like bridges, and it takes what feels like 5 or 10 minutes to load. But the good thing about this game is definitely the story. It definitely keeps you interested, and the ending sort of goes nicely into its sequel, Mafia 2, which I do feel is a better game than this one. But it was nice to sort of go back and play this, just to see how everything tied into the second game. Next up, we have The Matrix: Path of Neo. I played this for about an hour, and I like it. It's a lot better than Enter the Matrix, although that's not really saying much. You actually get the chance to play as Neo, which is what everyone wanted in the first place for the previous game in the Matrix, Enter the Matrix, I should say. And you sort of start off how like the first movie starts off. There's actually a nice little Easter egg where you can actually take the blue pill instead of the red pill. It doesn't really do much, but it's just funny that you have that option. And yeah, I played the opening bit where you're sort of when Neo's going to be taken away by Agent Smith in the office block, and is trying to sort of like stealthily get away, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I do feel the stealth isn't the best, but the combat and the action sequences aren't too bad. I have to play more to sort of give a proper judgment. Next up, we have Urban Freestyle Soccer. This is basically similar to the FIFA Street games. It actually came out before the FIFA Street games. And it's actually not too bad. I was expecting it to be horrible. When you look at this cover, I just think, oh god, it's going to be awful. But actually, it's pretty damn good. Really good music. Really good like different like skill moves you can do, and you can also pick up certain objects to take like boxes and stuff, and throw it at like your opponents and stuff. There's also like these special moves similar to Mario Strikers, and yeah, it's a surprisingly good game. I didn't really expect too much from it, but yeah, it's pretty good. Next up, we have Manhunt. Now, I'll be honest, when I first played this, when it first came out, I didn't really like it all that much, to be honest. It had like the stealth mechanics from GTA San Andreas, and I didn't feel that they made it work as a stealth game. I don't know, maybe it was just because I wasn't really used to playing stealth games at the time. But I found it really hard to get into, and also like sticking to the shadows and whatnot. I also felt the combat wasn't that great personally, and it felt like a little bit. It felt like a gratuitous game just for the sake of being gratuitous. But I will give it another chance at some point. Next up, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. Fantastic third-person shooter. I never actually got the chance to play it online, which is a shame. But at the time, the internet we had over here was like dial-up, and not many people had like broadband and the ability to hook up their PS2 to the internet properly. But I played a lot of the single player like campaigns and stuff, and yeah, I really enjoy it. I can definitely understand why people Love it so much, and I can't wait for the new Battlefront. I just hope it's similar to this one. I know a lot of the footage I've seen of it is in first person, but I hope there's like some kind of third person elements thrown in there like the original games. Next up we have Whiplash. I have not played this yet, but I know it's developed by Crystal Dynamics, so it should at least be a decent platformer. You control like two like animals who are sort of like chained up, which I thought was kind of weird, but hey, I like that sort of stuff. Next up is Red Faction 2. I've not played this one. I have played the first one, and really liked it until I got sort of stuck because of, I don't know, either because of a glitch or I don't know where to actually go. But there's really good destructible environments, I should say, in this game, with the geomod technology that THQ was sort of like bigging up at the time, and yeah, it looks nice. It's very similar to Half-Life, the Red Faction series. Next up we have Obscure. This is a co-op, although it's not mandatory. Co-op survival horror based in a high school, and basically this is like if Resident Evil or Silent Hill are sort of like the classic horrors, this is like the sort of teen slasher horrors, like I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream and whatever. And yeah, it's a pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't really play many survival horrors, but I do like the look of this one. Next up we have Genji. This is a action, like third-person action game similar to Onimusha. I have not played it, but I like the look of it. Tenchu Fatal Shadows. This is the sequel to Wrath of Heaven, I believe, that I showed in the last part. I have not played this either, but I do like the Tenchu series, so I will definitely give this a go when I get the chance to. See, a lot of these games I haven't had the chance to play, but because I have so many games, it's so hard to get through. Okay, next up is a game I have played, and it's called Res. This was originally released on the Dreamcast. I actually played the updated 360 version, and I would probably recommend that version over this one because it just looks nicer. But yeah, I thought I would pick this up anyway because I really enjoy unique, quirky, like Japanese games. So and this is one of them, one of the best. Next up is Spartan Total Warrior. I played this for about an hour or so, and yeah, it's pretty unique. It's a third-person action game with a lot of tactical elements, and yeah, it's based in ancient Greece, and yeah, it's pretty fun. It's quite tough though when you first play it though. Next up is Dark Cloud. I'm sorry to say I've not actually played Dark Cloud, but I have played Dark Chronicle, or Dark Cloud 2 if you live in America, and I absolutely love that game, so I'm hoping that I'll like this one as well. I know it's a lot different in terms of the what happens in the dungeon, like your weapon sort of breaks. Rather than like you being able to fix it, it just sort of breaks permanently or something, and like you constantly need to stay hydrated, which kind of reminds me of SOS Final Escape for some reason. Next up we have Odin Swing. Really, really entertaining. Sort of 2D cell shaded action game. Similar to sort of like Murumasa, Demon Blade on the Wii, and also on the PlayStation Vita, I believe. And yeah, it's a pretty interesting game. A lot of characters to players. I've not played a lot of this game, but for what I have played, I really do enjoy it. I like the combat, the variety of characters, and yeah, and especially the graphics. This game looks beautiful even to this day. Next up we have Persona 4. I haven't actually played this one. I have played Persona 3. Not a lot of it, but what I have played I've really enjoyed, and I know a lot of people like this one a lot more, so I look forward to playing it when I get the chance to. It's a JRPG from the Shin Megami Tensei series, well, part of the Shin Megami Tensei series. Next up we have Resident Evil Code Veronica X. This includes a demo of Devil May Cry, which was ironically a prototype for Resident Evil 4. Yeah, this one I remember playing a demo of on the Dreamcast, and I really liked it. Scared the shit out of me at certain points, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. This was actually supposed to originally be Resident Evil 3, but because they were going to call it Code Veronica, and Sony had a contract with Capcom to have 3 numbered titles, they had to change the name of Resident Evil Nemesis to Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. So it's got a weird history, and this sort of became like the spin-off, although many people say it's better than like the sort of spin-off tag has been dubbed, and yeah, I kind of agree. It is a lot better than the tag would suggest. Next up we have 007 from Russia with Love. This is similar to 007 Everything or Nothing, that came out I believe a year previous to this one. However, this one is a lot more classic. You play as Sean Connery, and this is based on the movie. And it has like a more classic look to it in terms of the graphics and the gadgets you can use and such. And yeah, it's a really nice little game if you're into like the 007 series. I think you'd absolutely love this one. Next up is Dragon Quest, or Dragon Quest VIII, The Journey of the Cursed King. I've played this for about 10 hours, I'd say. And I've just gotten to the final playable character that you can play as in this game. There's a total of four characters you can play as. And yeah, it's really good. Visually looks beautiful. The art design is from the same person who did the art design for like the Dragon Ball Z series. The music is some of the best I've ever heard in a game. It really is that good. Especially the overworld theme and the battle theme especially are absolutely superb. But all the tracks that I've heard so far from this are brilliant. And the battle system is really good. It's a lot more traditional than a lot of the other JRPGs I have here. But it is no less fun. It's a really good, very, very long JRPG experience, and one you should definitely try out. Next game I have is Forbidden Siren, also known as just Siren in the US. And I've not actually played this one. I've seen a lot of footage of it. It looks absolutely terrifying. I've also heard it's pretty hard as well, and it has some of the worst English dub I've probably heard since the original Resident Evil game. But that's no bad thing for me. For me that's part of the game's charm. Next up is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Now this is another movie tie-in based on both the Two Towers and Return of the King itself, and this is an absolutely superb movie tie-in. Now I haven't played Shadow of Mordor, so I can't really comment on if that is better than this game and the Two Towers, the other PS2 title. But yeah, this is a really fun co-op game, and a lot of different characters you can play as, and I love that opening level especially. Next up we have The Suffering. This one I've been playing very recently, and I really like the atmosphere and the setting. It actually reminds me of a combination of Dead Space and Max Payne. Dead Space sort of like jump scares and mutated creatures, and Max Payne's sort of intriguing storyline and atmosphere, and it sort of blends together to make this really intriguing survival horror like action experience, and yeah, one I highly recommend. I don't have the sequel, but I'm looking forward to getting that at some point. Next up is Mercenaries, or Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. This is a really good one as well. It's a open world action game where you can just destroy as much shit as you possibly want. I love the ability to have like use airstrikes and to pick up supply crates on the fly, and just like press of a button you can like buy it, and it comes straight to you. There's like 3 playable characters you can choose from. I personally choose this guy because I think how can you say no to that beard or that moustache, honestly? And yeah, my only sort of nitpick about this is that you work for like 4 different factions: the Chinese, the South Koreans, the Russian Mafia, and like basically the US army, although they're not actually called that. And the problem is when you do certain missions that goes against what they want to do, your rating with them goes down. They start to attack you, and it's an absolute bitch to get that rating back up. So they stop attacking you. So yeah, that's my only sort of nitpick with this game. Otherwise, it's really good. And finally, for this part, we have Beautiful Joe 1 and 2. The first game I played for a little bit. I got as far as the shark boss, and it absolutely kicked my ass. And I never played it again, but it was a shame because I actually enjoyed the style to this. I'd love to see Nintendo bring out a sequel for the Wii U. I know this series does have a sequel. It's although I've heard it's not as good. Although I've never played it myself, so I can't really decide until I beat the first one, which is a difficult task because it's so tough. But yeah, they are really fun games if you're quite good at beat 'em ups and like fighting games like Street Fighter or whatnot. And yeah, that is it for part 2 of my PS2 collection. Sorry again, I have to end this so abruptly, but because my battery's running low, I have to make another part. So yeah, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for part 3.